All right, quick trade recap. Uh, Pretty nice trade today. It was on NQ. It was a long, and it was a win. So basically, going into this day, I think overall, bigger time frame, this is definitely a buy model. First off, so I mean, this is a pretty clean market maker buy model, as you can see. We've got buy side liquidity here. We've got sell side of the curve trading lower into a big bullish 4 hour fair value gap. We also rebalance equilibrium of this price leg here. So from this low to this high, rebalance equilibrium, we get displacement back inside the range, pull back to a fair value gap, and now we're just trading higher towards all of these generated highs. So I'm bullish on the bigger time frame. Now we had news on this day. I don't even know what it was. I mean, I guess I can check down here. Probably CPI. Okay, this is a lot of crap, and I don't even know what it says. So MOM maybe. I don't know what the heck. I know what UOM is, but that's because it's consumer sentiment. Okay, I don't even know what this is. Building permits, I guess. I've never heard of that. But, anyways, we got news that makes the market dump quite a bit pre market. So, I mean, we get like a 160-point dump here. But basically, what I'm noticing going into market open, which is this right here, is that we've just recently, with news, we sweep out sell side liquidity while also rebalancing to equilibrium of this price leg. So, from this high, from this low to this high, we get the rebalance. Now, obviously, we have a bearish SMT, but I think the point of the bearish SMT is to go manipulate sell side. But anyways, and I mean, maybe this holds bearish and we sell off, who knows? But going into this day, we had internal manipulation at this low, and I want to see, since sell side liquidity has been taken, I want to see some sort of rebalance higher. Now, where do I expect us to rebalance? Not necessarily all the way back to the high. I would expect us to go to the fair value gap that was left from data. So obviously there's like a higher time frame, 1 hour here. So I mean, maybe we reject this 1 hour, but then if you zoom in a little more, you got the 30 minute, you've got the 15 minute, you've got the 5 minute, but the most precise area is the 1 minute. So if you zoom into the 1 minute, as you can see, this fair value gap was never touched. So this fair value gap here is kind of what I'm looking at to potentially target. So at market open, which is right here, we initially get bought up after sweeping sell side. Obviously, there's nothing here. We sell off, we get bought up again. No, I mean, you maybe could have taken like a long here. It's way, way, way too early for me here. There's no 5 minute structure at all. This is just a bunch of wicks, a bunch of choppy price action. So I did not take this long here. There was also no displacement on the bigger time frame, and this move here traded us up into this bearish fair value gap here on pretty much every time frame. There's a fair value gap. So it's a bearish 5 minute, it's a bearish 15 minute, it's a bearish 1 minute that we were pretty technically rejecting right here. So this was just not my type of thing. This is not my setup. I let this go. But once I see us to continue to displace higher, and then we get like a little bit of a rebalance here, but then we get bought up again. This whole time, what I'm waiting for to potentially take a long is a 5 minute fair value gap to open up. I don't care about this fair value gap here. I don't care about this little 1 minute here. All I care about is a 5 minute or above. So as you can see, in this whole price leg, the first time that we open up a 5 minute fair value gap is right here. So 5 minute finally opens up. Notice this candle here that forms the 5 minute fair value gap also closes above this 5 minute bearish fair value gap. So quick recap, quick refresh. We've swept sell side on a bigger time frame. So I'm expecting to see a rebalance higher. Where do I want to see a rebalance to? The 1 minute fair value gap from data. Now obviously there's a 1 hour and a 15 minute and a 30 minute and a 5 minute, but the most precise area that I would expect price to go is the 1 minute, because that's where the literal imbalance in price is. Because like I mean, this whole thing is a 1 hour fair value gap, but where is the actual imbalance? The 1 minute. Because I mean, this is all balanced right here. I mean, yeah, it's part of a bigger time frame fair value gap, but the part where the market technically needs to rebalance is right here. So this is where I have marked. Now, like I said, market's kind of just chopping around, but slowly trading higher. We finally open up a 5 minute fair value gap here. So once this 5 minute opens, I want to see a rebalance to the 5 minute. As you can see, we get this rebalance, and when we get this rebalance, we sweep an internal low and also leave an SMT. So as you can see, this low right here, this is the rebalance. Notice NQ sweeps out this low. ES does not, because this is the low on ES. So this is sell side right here on ES. We do not sweep it, however, NQ does. So we put in a bullish SMT here inside of the 5 minute bullish fair value gap. So this is the 5 minute with the SMT. And then what is the reaction of this? What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for what? This fair value gap to get ran. So once this 1 minute bearish fair value gap gets inversed here, this is when I take my entry on this candle. I've got my stop at the low where the SMT is. Now, why do I have my stop here? Because this is a protected low. Why is this a protected low? Because it's the low that formed the SMT, and it's also protected by this 5-minute bullish fair value gap. So I took small size on this just because of all of this generated sell side down here. I mean, we've got this low, this low, this low. But I mean, overall, bigger time frame, this is a very clean model because we've, like I said, we've swept sell side and we want to see a rebalance. Now, where else could we expect to rebalance? Equilibrium of this price leg. So 50% of this. And as you can see, we've already tapped 50%. So, and 50% is pretty much perfectly in line with this 1 minute for value gap. So, I mean, this is a very clean trade overall. You got to wait. You got to be patient. Like, don't try to trade this. Wait for the bigger time frame to open up. Wait for the 5 minute for value gap. Once we finally get this 5 minute, wait for the reaction of it. So what is the reaction of this 5 minute for value gap? This is the reaction. The reaction is this 1 minute bearish for value gap getting ran, and then we have this SMT. So like I said, I take my entry here. This is just a drawing, but I can actually bring up the executions right here. So this is the executions, and I actually want to change it to arrows because I just prefer that. But yeah, buy right here, sell right here, as you can see. Now I entered on this candle because this is the first candle that actually closes above this bearish for value gap. So once this technically gets inverted, that's when I take my entry. Stop is at the low. I move my stop to break even once this internal high gets taken. Now the reason I did that is because of all of this down here. Like there was no let's say we had like data or something. Like let's say this was 9 a.m. and there's data and the market sells all the way off, something like this. And we have a big O wick that sweeps out sell side and then get bots all the way back up. There would really not be any reason to move stop to break even at that point because it's pretty obvious that we're just going to go higher because of the lack of displacement. But since we've got this generated sell side, even though in and of itself this is a very clean model, it's a very clean and obvious market maker buy model here with sell side of the curve sweeping out, having some form of manipulation on the bigger time frame, and then displacement higher with buy side of the curve. This is a clean model. But at the end of the day, there's still sell side below. So you just want to be cautious of that. So that's why I moved my stop to break even here. And then as you can see, the trade just plays out absolutely beautifully towards the 1 minute fair value gap. And now I just want to see where the market ends up going. I can see us expanding higher, but I could also see us kind of chopping around. So let's just see what happens. Yeah, we're just chopping. Like literally, that's what you would expect. I mean, this is just such a clean trade. Like we literally catch the most efficient move all day. Like literally. Because after the market opens, this is the most efficient move right here. Because the market opens here, we get a decent amount of chop. But remember, nothing here, like this is just not good enough for me. Because if we just ignore all of this and think about just this right here, this is not a fast move up. We're just kind of chopping. Yeah, we're moving higher overall, but there's not a lot of urgency to go higher. And this whole time, what are we doing? We're trading up into this bearish imbalance on the bigger time frame. So like I said, this is a 15-minute fair value gap. This is a 1 minute. This is a 5 minute. This is a 1 hour, and this is a 30-minute. This is just a big bearish fair value gap. And is this the type of price action that you want to see if you're going to take a long here? No, you want to see efficiency in price. You want to see the market rebalance and then get a quick move higher. But nothing here is really convincing me that we want to go higher until what? Until we get the rebalance to equilibrium of this price leg. So we get the initial move higher, rebalance to equilibrium. Equilibrium holds bullish. We're also revisiting this 1 minute. We're revisiting the 5 minute change. So I mean, I'm sure this is a 5 minute change in the state. Yep, we got the series of down close candles here. Market displaces above this series of down close candles. We rebalance to the 5 minute change. 5 minute change holds bullish right here. And then we get bought up. Now, once we get bought up again, and then finally we get the first 5 minute fair value gap in the entire price leg, now you can be confident that we're going higher because now you have higher time frame confirmation. You're not just trading based off of one tiny little fair value gap on the 1 minute down here. Like, because this is not enough info to tell me that we're going all the way here because there's bigger fair value gaps here that we're rejecting off of, and there's no efficiency here. So you have just wait for it to be obvious. Once, like, and look at the 5 minute. Like, can you really justify taking this long, targeting all the way up here just because of one 1 minute fair value gap? No, you need to wait for the bigger time frame. So once this fair value gap gets ran here, and we've got the 5 minute open up, and we've got the internal SMT, and the reaction of the internal SMT is another inverse fair value gap here, now you can be confident that we're going towards buy side. So that was the trade. Buy here, sell here. Very clean model, and obviously after the objective is taken, this is what you're going to get. So don't even think about trading that. Very clean trade though today. Very nice.